How's it going, everybody? TMC here, back again with some more Gran Turismo Sport on the channel. Gonna be doing something a little bit different today. Gonna be doing host commentary for the first time in quite a while, I think. But I'm gonna try something different and make this a regular thing. So, what are we doing? Cat Cool Open Lobby, N100 at Tsukuba Circuit. Now, this was a really good fight, and you're about to find out why. I'm in the Ferrari Dino, by the way. Lights are out. We got a really bad start because the Ferrari Dino just has really long gears, especially for the N100 class, mainly because you have to lower the horsepower all the way down, but the SFR gets a really good start, goes right in front of me. Fall back down to 4th. That's the MX-5 Miata on my outside, but I kind of outrun him, heading into the 3rd turn here. Down to 2nd gear, taking a nice tight line, staying right behind the SFR. And it's just 1, 2, 3 right now all together, although the SFR gets pretty wide. And that's when we go ahead and take a look on the outside. A little bit of contact with the Stratos ahead, and I'm going to say this right now. This was a bit of a fight between the Stratos and the Dino, so it was like a perfect classic Italian car showdown on a small Japanese circuit. But yeah, these two cars were definitely OP for N100 class racing, but it provided a really good battle between myself and Ben, who is Mayall 1 right in front. So yeah, as I said before, he's in the Stratos, I'm in the Dino. And I feel like the Dino, it handles a lot better than the Stratos, but it suffers from acceleration, especially on corner exits, while the Stratos is a little bit faster, but it's a lot more twitchier, if that's even a word, in the corners. So, Ben is having to brake a little bit earlier, having to, make sure he doesn't snap oversteer the car. The Dino does snap oversteer, but it doesn't snap oversteer as badly as the Lancia does. So the top of compounded tires we have on here are Sport Softs, and it's the amount of tire wear that the host set the amount of tire wear that the host set wasn't that high. So honestly, you could do this this race without changing tires. Although fuel was a concern, which we'll see a little bit later on. We're barely on lap 2. So as you can see, the Stratos gets a little bit loose heading into the corner. I'm right behind the Lancia. Peek my nose just a little bit on the inside, but that Lancia does have a little bit more speed than I do. I do overshoot the corner here, so I kind of have to get the spot back up. No point of closing the door on Ben. I could have been really dirty, but fortunately I wasn't. And yeah, this is pretty much what it's like the entire race. Just myself and Ben in the Stratos, nose to tail the entire time, having this great battle. Really trying to figure out, which one of us can overcome our own handicaps with our vehicles and try to win the race here. And that's the thing with the, N classes of vehicles in Gran Turismo Sport. The BOP is so heavily imbalanced to the point where you can take like a Ferrari F50 and race against like Mazda RX-7s and Nissan Skylines, and the F50 will handle a lot better, despite having to gain weight and lower horsepower. But still, I mean, it is what it is. Fortunately, though, the BOP worked very well with these two cars in this class. I'm not sure how they would run an N200, but at least an N100, you can have a really close battle with them. So we're on lap 4, still behind Ben, not keeping him out of my sights. P3, who is Brad, that's his name, actual name on YouTube. Brad is in the MX-5, as I mentioned before. They're pretty much out of the question at this point. It's just a battle between the two of us here in P1 and P2. I feel like this hairpin here is where the Dino really suffers, because I feel like it's the hardest braking zone, apart from turn 1. Turn 1 is a little bit tighter, but I feel like because that hairpin has that long backstretch. I had to try to get my braking point just right every single time, and it's really difficult, especially with these older cars, a little bit more twitchy, a little bit harder to drive, but they're fun regardless. So that was my best lap of the race so far. On to lap number 5. As I mentioned before, the soft tires weren't wearing out. The tires were good all the way to the end, just going to spoil that for now. Although, don't let that, like I said before, don't let that make you assume that there's no strategy to this race. There was a little bit of strategy, and you'll see that coming up real soon. So the one thing I should mention, by the way, is I'm actually doing this post-commentary right off the tongue. I don't have a script in front of me, although the next video I am going to write a script and try to practice, doing the script. I'm trying to change things up on the channel. I've done a lot of LP Let's Play videos, which are more casual, a lot more fun, a little bit more recording sessions for single-player games, and I really want to mix up the LPs, the streams, and doing post-commentary videos on online races like these. And right when I'm talking, you can see the Stratos gets a little bit loose, but I overshoot the corner just a tiny little bit. I do use the runoff, but had I not screwed up the final corner, had I perfected it while Ben was the only one who had messed it up, I would have been able to probably take the lead. But we still stay 1 and 2. We're still really tight together. But yeah, anyways, if my commentary kind of sounds like I'm babbling or I'm using a lot of ums, uhs, e's, ohs, whatever, I apologize in advance. I do kind of feel like I'm a rookie in YouTube again, just because it's like I'm trying something new, so I'm experimenting a bit. Anyways, that's the little disclaimer over, I guess, like halfway through the race. But yeah, as you can see, the battle is just really intense between the two of us. Like, the action itself, it speaks on its own. It doesn't, I don't really need to say anything, but obviously I'm going to try to find things to mention. Like, for example, both of us getting a little bit of oversteer there. Both of us feel the rear of the car step out, and we both catch it. I wish I had the wheel cam or something like that, so you can see how much I'm cranking the wheel to the opposite direction, to not lose the car on entry into the corner. It's tough. That final corner is a little bit tough with these cars. With these classic cars. Not sure about the other ones, but for sure the Stratos and the Dino, you do get some oversteer if you're entering the corner a little bit hot. You see, I got a little bit of a bobble heading into the Dunlop corner. I don't know what the name of the corner is, by the way. Lost a little bit of time to Ben, but I feel like at this point I was understanding the car a little bit better with braking. And so I was able to go a little bit better into the hairpins, but it still wasn't really enough to get close to Ben. All I really could rely on was just making sure that I nailed the final corner to have a decent run into the first turn. You can see ahead, Ben was getting a little bit loose. I completely botched that first corner up. I just pushed it a little bit too hard, but I'd rather be pushing hard than not pushing at all, honestly. So I should mention that the host of the lobby was Catcool, who is a buddy of mine on YouTube who also streams. He streams these races on Friday, so I'll go ahead and link his channel in the description below, along with Ben's channel, although Ben doesn't really post content. Still want to post him, post his channel there just to show, oh, it's this guy who I was racing with. Regardless, he does these streams every Friday. They're all organized GT Sport races, so he does like 5 races on a Friday stream, and it's usually stuff like N400 at Maggiore East with like 10 fuel wear and like 3 tire wear. It's just random things, whatever comes to mind, and we make it all work. And it's interesting to really think of strategies here. Alright, lap number 9. About to reach the halfway point after this lap. And it's more of the same. It's still a nice, tight battle. You know, just because we aren't, like, banging doors with each other or, like, you know, getting really up close and personal, it doesn't necessarily mean that this race has been bad. It's been pressure-filled the entire way. Like, I think the furthest down I've gone was, like, 1.5 seconds, I'd like to say. So the reason why I'm using, like, the replay camera for this is because I wasn't planning on recording any videos. I wasn't expecting this race to be this good. I kind of wanted to, you know, experiment with stream intros, you know, get some, like, race footage and maybe use that as an intro or maybe use it as, like, an intermission screen. Just think of things, you know, change up the stream a little bit. But like I said, this race was too good not to share with you guys on here. So yeah, officially reached the halfway point. I'm pushing a little bit harder into the first turn at this point. I'm kind of thinking to myself, alright, we reached halfway. I'm getting to understand the car better. I need to do something now. So it's actually at this point that I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm running out of fuel. I don't know what the Stratos is like on fuel economy, except I can only assume that Stratos is a lot better on fuel than I am. So I'm starting to think about my fuel strategy here. I want to say that I have about a lap or 2 left of fuel in the tank. And so the idea was, even if I run all the way, you know, till I was dry, I wanted to do something opposite of Ben, because I feel like the Stratos was a slightly better car for the circuit, but if I could try to get ahead of him, and passing a Tsukuba is very difficult, then I could probably have this race won. So at this point, I have about a lap and a half. I'm going to say a half on the lap. I have a lap and a half of fuel remaining. And I said, screw it. I'm coming in this lap. So I wanted to make sure I got a good exit, not lose too much time. And it was at this moment I said, okay, lap and a half left of fuel, maybe a little bit less. I'm coming in now. I have to come in. So I included a little Ben cam on the bottom right corner. Just want to show you his POV from the chase cam, show you where he's at on track in relation to where I am after I come in and do my outlap and stuff. I will spoil this right now. Ben does come in on this lap, on lap number 12. For some reason, the replay didn't animate the fuel man putting in the fuel, but that's fine. So I come out, turn number 1. Ben's already exited the 3rd turn, about to head into the turn with the Dunlop bridge. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm still in P2. We really put our dominance into this whole field. We walked away from 3rd, while battling, I might add. And I have no worries from behind. I have to push, get a really good outlap here if I want any chance of catching Ben. I was assuming he'd come in right now. Or I thought, okay, maybe the Stratos is somehow like a king on fuel and my car's awful with it. But then when I saw that little S sign with the little fuel gauge, I just said, okay, cool. We're on an even playing field. I have a chance here. So come on, don't screw the corner up. I was actually on the voice chat with my friend Rally Salika, which I'll include his channel as well in the description below. He was racing another N100 car. Mayall just comes out right ahead of me, and I said, okay, this is my shot. I screw up the exit of the corner, and he manages to stay ahead, and I tell myself, fuck. But yeah, I was actually on, like I said, I was on the voice call with Rally Salika, and the entire time I was going like apeshit, because I wasn't quiet, I was actually kind of going berserk because of the amount of fun I was having. Maybe if I kept my mouth shut and focused a little bit harder, maybe I could have won, but at the same time, these open lobby races that Cat Cool holds are all about fun. And by the way, I saw that overshot by Ben, and I told myself, okay, I have to go for it right now. But as I mentioned before, the exit out of the corners with this car is not the best. The Stratos gets the power down a little bit harder, mainly because the gears are shorter on the Stratos. I feel like the gears are really long on the Dino, especially for a track like Tsukuba. And the N100 BOP doesn't really help either. But yeah, I feel like that was the one shot I had. 2 shots, actually. Both attempts failed, which is fine. I thought to myself, okay, if I push a little bit harder, maybe I can try to psych Ben out, make him make a mistake somewhere. I could try to get the win. We'll see what happens. As I was saying before, the open lobbies are all about fun. So I'd subscribe to Cat Cool if I was you. If you race, you know, as long as you race clean, have a good attitude, and don't demand preferential treatment or, you know, play the blame game all the time, you're more than welcome to race with us. Oh, and not lie to us about stuff. That's another... Someone actually got banned for lying to us about certain things, so yeah. That is my PSA and warning, I guess, to the general public over for now. Back to our regularly scheduled broadcast of this race. We're approaching lap traffic at this point, but he has the ghosting on along with the flag rules, so they don't really make a difference, although I think you can actually get a tow from ghosted cars, and that could actually help you down the straightaways. The German driver here, and I believe that the Height's a Copen? Yeah, it's a Copen. I think he just gets out of the way for us. That, or the car is really underpowered to the point where it makes no difference. Yeah, he didn't get out of the way, but like I said, we were ghosted. You know, we were ghosting through him, so it didn't really matter. I was hoping at that point that I could get a tow from from one of those cars. Try to help me catch Ben. See, like I mentioned before, I had to try to psych him out. I threw it into the corner a little bit deep. Nothing really phases Ben, however, unless you drive a Super GT 500 car. That's the only time that you can probably phase him, although he's clearly a god with those cars. He's actually really good with those cars, but he hates them, so it's a little joke within our community regarding that. So 3 to go. I'm still thinking to myself, I have a chance here. You know, the reality is, I could have probably underfueled just by 1 lap, because I feel like I overfueled just a tiny bit. Maybe I could have caught him, but in reality, if you guys have paid attention to the moment where Ben came out of the pits, he was ghosted. In hindsight, I could have easily just gone on the inside of turn 1, ghosted right through him and passed him, but I feel like that'd be a little bit cheap, you know, a dirty move on my end. Like in a sport mode race, I wouldn't care because, you know, you gotta play the game and take any advantages you can get in sport mode. So like if you can go through a car that's coming out the pits and screw it, go for it. But my biggest fear was, number 1, I didn't really want to do that in a race amongst friends. I wanted to make it feel kind of like a gentleman's race, I suppose. And number 2, I was afraid of Ben becoming solid and then me crashing into him and ruining the race for both of us. On that note, 2 to go. Ben's clearly had, he clearly has an authority stamped all over this race. I should also mention that in qualifying, there was a chance of me getting pole position. I did get impeded by a driver here who was driving a Volkswagen Golf, the new one that came out of the update, the 83 model, I think it is. In hindsight, though, I don't think it would have mattered since the Dino gets a really bad launch. I would have been on the outside heading into one, and I think I would have been swallowed up by everyone on the grid had that happened. But, you know, it's okay. And another funny note is that I was actually on the phone with my boss from work when the race started, so it was a little bit hectic talking to my boss and trying to pretend like, oh, I'm talking about work-related stuff, while totally not sim racing. But anyways, final lap to go. Try to use a lot of the outside to get a run, to carry some speed into turn 1. I chuck it on the inside, trying everything I can to make Ben afraid of me, but I do screw up the exit. Mainly out of frustration, I guess? It was a slight amount of frustration. Because I felt like I could have won this race, but I didn't, you know, execute it the way I wanted to. But when I crossed the line, it wasn't even anger, it was... I just spoiled the ending. Oh boy, I have a lot of practice that I need to do with the commentary for off the tongue, but I feel like this was an okay start. Anyways, besides the point, when I crossed the line here in second, I wasn't bitter. Not at all. I was really happy, and I immediately went to Catcool's chat and I said, Ben, thank you for the race. That was incredible. I have never had as much fun in an open lobby race as today. You know, we were both buzzing about it and how much fun we had doing this race, and we're going to do a rematch. We're going to try to schedule a rematch with the Stratos and the Dino. But we crossed the line, actually, Catcool right ahead of me. He just passed Catcool and put him a lap down, ending the race prematurely for him. And this race was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and it was nice to have a clean open lobby race. So yeah, guys, what did you think about my first post-commentary video off the tongue? Was it good? Was it terrible? Should I shut my dumb mouth? Should I keep going? I am gonna do another, you know, I'm probably gonna go with more of the scripted route. I feel like it'll be better, but at least for now, like, I'm trying to experiment with some stuff. Although the one thing that is scripted is the outro. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. Again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.